Siate i benvenuti. Welcome, my friends, to Starsector. We should now be able to go back up and get our cargo and give it to the station commander now that the quest here, that the mission here is done. So for factions like the Hegemony, which do not like AI cores, you cannot sell them, but you can give them to the station authorities, usually. Yes. Hello, what do you want? I'd like to turn in these AI cores that I have acquired. We don't generally like the public to be aware that this exists, citizen, but the Hegemony is treaty bound to take possession of any such objects and ensure they are destroyed. Select the AI cores to turn in. Now, I will usually hold on to them, but I would need a secure storage for them, which is something that I don't have right now because I cannot keep this in a Hegemony station storage. Turning this in will gain me 10,000 credits, more and an increase of 2 points in standing with the Hegemony. And Hegemony has 100% bounty value and 200% reputation gain. The different factions net you different amounts. So there might be factions that give you more money but less reputation because they aren't really too concerned with AI cores. For them, they are just a commodity. So let's confirm, get this 10,000 credits. Citizen Beach thanks you on behalf of the Hegemony Council, and the conversation moves to other matters. Cut the comlink. Let's go to the trade. We can trade away all these metals. And arbalests, heavy mortars I don't like, so I will sell them. I will keep most other weapons for now. The thumper is another kind of weapon that I don't really use, but I will keep for now. We didn't lose, it seems, even a single fighter in the last engagement because our crew is still maxed. Or I should say, it's not maxed, but it's in exact same place we left it. We might get a bit more supplies. Something like that. But before we do that, let's jump to the fleet screen. I want to scuttle this, the one that has degraded engines, erratic fuel injectors, and increased maintenance, most of all. Let's get to the refit, strip. This is probably not needed, but I do this anyway. And then we could sell the hull for slightly more than 1,000 credits, or scuttle it for 16 supplies, 16 fuel, and 4 heavy machinery. Now, and the way the economy of this game is balanced, ship hulls without loadouts are basically worth nothing, especially compared to what you would get in terms of supplies, fuel, and heavy machinery out of them. I don't know if you noticed in the trade screen, but supplies go for 100 credits apiece. So if you consider just the supplies, the 16 supplies, we would get the equivalent of 1600 credits, while selling gives us only slightly more than 12. So I will scuttle this and receive the supplies. I think I'll keep this for now, even if it has an erratic fuel injector. Now the main thing is that this doesn't impact the maximum burn. Maximum burn is still 9, which is okay. Do I still need this? I probably don't. However, being that I was gifted with the use of storage in this station, I will leave this troop transport here in storage, and I can come back and take it out whenever I want. Leaving ships in storage is useful because you don't have to run them around, and if you don't need them, that saves you the supplies. Why I want to keep this? It can help as a distraction mainly. And it has the salvage gantry. Yes, I want to keep this. It increases my chances of salvaging. The rest I will keep. I will also keep this. Can I now have salamanders? Yes, I can. So let's autofit with support. Why? Strip, autofit, support. What? Oh, because there's upgrade weapons. I don't understand. The support here shows 2 salamanders MRM. Why is it not fitting the salamanders MRM? Because it's buying from illegal. But whatever, we already bought from illegal like a second ago. And it wants to use a Vulcan. I don't think we have a Vulcan available. No, not legally anyway. This is not point defense, this is. Alright. What's the other distribution here? 5 flux capacitor and 6 flux vents. However, since this kite has a civilian grade hull, I want to get it a militarized subsystems module. This increases burn level, which is not a concern with such a small ship. Small ships are usually very fast. However, supply and combat readiness cost to recover from a deployment is reduced by 30%, and increases, well, the increase in minimum crew requirement is not a big deal because it was not great on its own. Now, small ships, you want more capacity than dissipation. That's because they are quick, and so they can disengage easily and vent. So they don't need a lot of passive flux dissipation. Instead, giving them more capacity for flux gives them more room to manage the accumulation of flux. Let's repair everything. And now we can start tackling the rest of the mission. But as you can see, as we get near to the end of the tutorial, the world has opened up, and we now have all kind of different randomly generated or procedurally generated missions. These, I think, are mostly bounties. But look at this, a bounty with an 88,000 credits reward. But this guy, it has cruisers, freighter ships, destroyers. This one we could do if we wanted to cover the distance, and it would net us 52,000. Especially in the early game, there's a lot of good money to be made out of bounties. You only need to select your targets well. Look at this. These ships are wrecked, and it would still net you 46,000. This is a mission. Analyze a derelict ship for the pirates. Actually, for the pirates at the Rinkyu mine station. Personal bounty for the Hegemony. So this could be nice for us. And still, a fleet of very small ships and all in very bad condition. And then there's these types of bounties, which are system bounties. For example, in Corvus, right now, where we are right now, no, we are in Jangala. No, we are in Galatia star system. Okay, Corvus is where Jangala is. Both the Galatian and Corvus management issued bounties for ships of all the factions they are hostile towards. So for example, in Galatia, I could right now destroy pirates, Tritakian, Persean League or Ludic Path ships and get a base rewards of 6,000 per frigate. And if you destroy bigger ships, the reward scales up. So these kind of missions are also very good. These instead are procurement missions. These are the pirates at the Rinkyu that want heavy armaments. There's 2 contracts for heavy armaments actually. Now these are not randomly generated but procedurally generated, because they actually change based on what are the current needs of those stations. Alright, but we need to get to Corvus right now and speak to the authorities at Jangala. Having selected another system as destination, immediately we get a course for the nearest inner system jump point. So when you get to a jump point, you get a chance to get out of system, and when you get out of the system, you get to hyperspace basically. Also passing through the jump point costs you a little bit of fuel, but then moving in this map, which is the hyperspace map, you consume fuel going around here, and you can see how much if you hit this button here, which shows your fuel range. The outer circle is how far you can go with the fuel you have. The inner circle represents how far you can go and still be able to get back. So to be safe, you should always fly inside the inner circle unless you are coming back to a a part of space where you know you can buy more fuel, basically. So we set up our route. This is nobody's territory, so we can disable the transponder, which is also very good move. And we get this message: your fleet has entered hyperspace. Ships traveling in hyperspace use fuel in proportion to the distance traveled. Fleets that run out of fuel drift towards the nearest star system and may become stranded there. All things that we already knew, and we are getting our first monthly stipend for 14,000 credits. Now, this is the system where the planet Jangala is. We can enter the system through any of these gravitational wells or in relation to a jump point. The positions are more or less the ones that they would have in system. What you don't want to do is enter directly inside a star because chances are you get destroyed right away. It is not guaranteed, but yeah, you can imagine how it is not a good idea. You can pass over a star because you are still in hyperspace. If you don't enter the system in here, you're fine. But we can now select Jangala as our entry point. Your fleet approaches the jump point. Order a jump to Jangala jump point. Your transponder is off, and patrols in the Corvus star system are likely to give you trouble over the fact if you're spotted. So we get a chance to turn the transponder on and then jump. Now we are in another star system, and we can set a course to planet Jangala. There's prospectors fleets in here. And look at the size of the military fleets around here. But hopefully they are friendly. Your fleet approaches Jangala Station. Formed of a vast tiered structure, the first ancient fueling and repair gantries are hidden among corroded industrial hangars that lie in the shadow of a huge ring of laboratories and associated support systems. Higher still, commercial concourses, metroplex districts, and many winged shipyards are all watched over by a command and control spire bristling with communications arrays and weapon pods. Your fleet transmits identification codes via the transponder, and you are soon granted docking clearance. We want to communicate with the station commander, Freya Elysium. Your connection request is accepted after a slight delay. Yes, and you are? You have a report for me. Let's just take a look. Galatia is back on the map? That's excellent news. Says here you've had quite a hand in it too. That won't be forgotten. We got a massive increase in relationship. What do I do now? I don't have anything specific for you right now, but you've got options. This basically means that the tutorial is over and any mission we undertake from now on are procedurally generated missions, and so the sandbox part of the game starts. There's a bounty in this system right now due to unusually high pirate activity. You've already got some experience dealing with pirates, so that could be a good way to earn some credits. And of course, you could always visit the dockside bars. Good opportunities there sometimes. When you go to the dockside bars, I could actually show you after this dialogue is done. Let's continue to read. You could try your hand at salvaging. load up on fuel, machinery and supplies, and head for the outer systems. It's a good idea to pick up a mission first, so you're not running blind. Someone's usually offering good money to analyze this planet or that derelict, and where there's one, there's often more. Finally, you could take a commission with the Hegemony. Due to the Galatia business, your standing is high enough that such a request would be accepted. You'll be expected to fight our enemies though, so it's quite a commitment. If I were you, I'd hold off on it until you've got a more solid fleet behind you. Thanks, I'll think about it. Alright, so let's look at the dockside bar. When you go to the bar, you get a random choice of missions. Now this academic with a tripod is always here, and you can, so it's a one-time offer. You get it whenever you want, and you can find it in multiple places, but once you have it, it's a one-time mission. When you see a concerned so-and-so, you walk over to their table, they introduce themselves, and then they give you, they offer you a trade or transport. Actually, they offer you a transport mission. So for example, he wants 200 units of food delivered to Gilead in the Canaan star system. My fleet holds can accommodate an additional 136 units of cargoes. Now this scale up with the size of your fleet and are usually a little bit more than you can currently handle, at least until you get to like big freight ships. So it's a way of telling you, hey, if you buy an additional cargo ship, or if you free some space in your cargo holds, you can take this mission. And by the way, from the moment you take it, you have 80 days to complete it, so you get a little bit of wiggle room there to change your fleet loadout and carry on. Now this one, for 11,000 credits, is probably not great. We can make so much more money just by taking bounties, for example, just in this system. So let's decline the offer and leave the bar for now. The last thing that I might show you is that while we don't have storage in this station, there is an abandoned station in this system, the Asharo Stellar Shade. If I dock there very quickly, you can see that this is not a station, so I don't have... Oh wait, I am mistaken. It's this one, the abandoned terraforming platform, that I wanted to get to. So forget what I just did. Okay, we approach the abandoned terraforming platform. We don't get to trade in here, but it's free storage. So basically it's a massive structure that is abandoned, nobody goes there. We get to store items and ships even for free attached to the derelict station. There are maybe 2 or 3 of this around the sector, and it's a way to have a temporary base until you have colonies of your own, and storage is pretty much infinite. Anyway, let's leave it at that. Let's pay our respect to Commander Zero Thompson. In the next one we will level up because we have quite a few character points to spend. We have 4 character points to spend. We will allocate those, and then we will start taking bounties and see how far we can go. as a bounty hunter. And maybe after a couple of missions, we will take that commission for the Hegemony and see how fun it is to actually partake in the war effort. But until next time, stay safe.